So I've really been liking these Cauldron Films releases. I'm a little late to the Cauldron Films party. They've been putting out things for a little while now, but I just got a bunch of them, and this film I'm about to talk about is one of them from 1972. This is Crimes of the Black Cat. This is a giallo film directed by, as I look at my notes, Sergio Pastore, set in Copenhagen. And the basic story here, I'm not going to tell you the whole story. The basic story here is that a blind pianist slash composer is in his local pub, if that's what they call them in Copenhagen, and he overhears some kind of a sinister, nefarious plot. He sort of half hears it and asks the bartender, as the woman's voice he had just heard behind him leaves the pub, that woman, what did she look like? And thus begins his investigation of trying to figure out what was going on while a series of murder. I want to say grisly murders, but up to a point in the film, they're surprisingly not that grisly. So this is very much in the realm, in the vein of Dario Argento's Bird with the Crystal Plumage or Cat o' Nine Tails, which both had been released by the time this film came out. But very fun, very stylish, cool soundtrack, very mod clothes and internal decor and things like that, and a cool I was going to say destination, a cool location in Copenhagen. So I really enjoyed this a lot. This is interesting as it goes along, fun, fun guessing game as to who the killer might be and what's going on and what the relationship to the various people might be. And then there's a shower killing toward the end of the film that is like shockingly graphic, like Lucio Fulci level graphic. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. And it was shocking because up to that point it was relatively not chaste, but it wasn't really, really gruesome. And then suddenly it's like, here's some nudity and here's a body just being really done wrong, shall we say. So yeah, this was really fun. So as I say, Cauldron Films doing a really great job. Good transfer, not great. Not great, I don't intend to say this isn't a good transfer. Sometimes films will get transferred from materials that basically strip away the years, so to speak, and they don't look like old movies, if you know what I mean. The skin tones look really, really natural, and the contrast is really good and deep, and there's the gradation of contrasts. And like I'll see older movies, I'm getting to a point here, I'll see some older films, or there are films or TV shows that I know well where you see a new restoration of it, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I never knew he had light brown hair. I always presumed it was black because that's just what the transfers had done all these years. This transfer falls into that category. It's very sharp and clean. It just looks like it was probably taken from a print and not the original materials, which is fine because it looks great. I'm quibbling because, again, Cauldron, 100% great job with everything I've seen them do so far. I think this is maybe the fourth or fifth disc of theirs that I've watched. And I love giallo films. I love Italian horror. I love Euro horror of this period. It's a really interesting kind of magical time in film in the early 70s in Europe. And it's great to get a copy of this, which I want to say this might even be I looked down because I've got a copy here. This might even be the Blu-ray debut of this film. Certainly US Blu-ray debut of this. Previously unavailable in HD, as this says here, or the proper aspect ratio. Worldwide Blu-ray debut with an uncut 4K restoration. So congrats, Cauldron Films. Did I mention how much I'm liking Cauldron Films? And so the packaging. So you get the cover there, which is a very nice cover. They use the clear Blu-ray cases, which allows for reversible covers that you can see without having to reverse them. So you get an alternate cover there for it. So very nice release. What are the extras on this? We get a commentary with Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson, who are experts in the realm of Euro horror or Euro cinema. They're great. And what I like about them too is they don't just kiss the tuchus of the film they're talking about. If they think it's lacking in certain areas, they'll talk about it and they'll compare it to other films. They have an encyclopedic knowledge of the filmmakers, everything to do with the films and other films of the genre, so they'll sort of like be cross-checking and cross-referencing with other things, which is great. Another commentary by Fragments of Fear, a giallo podcast. Now, when I see a podcast group doing commentaries, I always get a little nervous because I've heard some of these where it's really jokey and they just sit and make fun of the movie, or they don't really know a lot about the movie. That is not the case here. These people are great. It's a man and a woman, or a woman and a man, And what this actually is an episode of their podcast where they chose to talk about Crimes of the Black Cat, which is cool. So it's not screen specific. There's no dead spots at all. It's just, I think it's an hour. So it doesn't run the duration of the film because it's not even in sync with the film. It is just an interesting hour-long discussion of the movie, which I found was great. Having already listened to a full-length discussion of the movie, sometimes a second commentary, or in some cases a third commentary, you get a lot of the same information repeated, and this didn't do that. It was a mix of information and analysis, which I always appreciate, so that was a really good one too. So we have Remembering Sergio Pastore interview with Sarah Pastore, his, I want to say older daughter of 2 daughters, I believe, from 2000, it's actually done recently, and it's 18 minutes. And then we get Sergio Pastore, and I will say the English title of this, an independent filmmaker from 2012, which I believe was also put together by his 2 daughters. That's 17 minutes. Gives you an overall history of the filmmaker who made this. You get the 4-minute trailer, which is super stylish, and I love the giallo trailers and the style that a lot of them fell into at the time. And an image gallery, which is 2 minutes, which is just auto advance. I used to do image galleries for people in a lifetime ago in my job, and it was either step through or autoplay. So this is what you call an autoplay, where the slides are up for a certain amount of time, they go to the next one, and there's usually some score from the film under it. So I don't have a tremendous lot to delve deeply into Crimes of the Black Cat, but I thought it was really good. And I've seen a lot of giallo films, and this is, as I say, okay, I get these free, but I don't always keep them. If I don't like it, I give them to a friend or whatever, but this is one I'm keeping. So take as that as you will. Out now on Blu-ray from Cauldron Films is 1972's giallo thriller, Crimes of the Black Cat.